Once we complete the rankings, then we begin to look at the bias plus reports. The bias plus reports takes the rankings and the turnover differential, puts them into a super secret formula, and comes out with a matchup number that favors one team or the other. So, for example, if the New Orleans Saints average net points of 8.8 played the Kansas City Chiefs average net points of 6.6, based on net points, they would have a 2.2 average net point favorite. They would be favored by 2.2 points. That's called the bias. We call that the bias. And we put the plus in there when we start to include in that formula turnover differential. So let's move on over to the bias plus reports. Bam, there you go. Thursday night, Benny. Division game. My, what, 2-3? Niners. What's the record for the Seahawks? Are they 2-3 also?
The Seahawks are 3-2.
3-2, yeah. But the bias plus score 4.8 favors the Niners.
Okay. So Seahawks will be at home. It is an NFC West game. Let's talk about Seattle. They're coming off of a loss. It was a loss at home to my New York Football Giants. Score was 29-20. The Seahawks' first score actually came when Eric Gray, running back for the Giants, was going in for a touchdown from the 1 yard line. And before he crossed the goal line, fumbled the ball into the end zone. It got scooped up by safety Rayshawn Jenkins and run back 102 yards for a touchdown. After that, for most of the game, the Seahawks played pretty poorly. They got little from their run game. They committed 6 penalties. They missed tackles. They looked crazy. But the worst thing of all, they couldn't protect Geno. Giants defense was all over him. Geno got sacked 7 times. He got hit 10 times. Jason Myers converted a couple of field goals along the way. That kept it within a 2-possession game for most of the game. So the game was still exciting and it was still close before they put together a 95-yard drive that they finished with a 5-yard touchdown pass from Geno to Smith and Jigba. That actually pulled them within 3. But then they forced a 3-and-out from the Giants and promptly got in position to kick the game-tying field goal to take the game in overtime. And lo and behold, 55 seconds left in the game. Lo and behold, Isaiah Simmons jumped over the gap, didn't jump over players, jumped over the gap between the center and the guard, never touched anybody because that would have been a penalty, blocked the kick, and it got scooped up and scored, and the Giants ended up winning the game. That was a game-clinching touchdown. Now, let's talk about the Niners. They're visiting. This is going to sound crazy, but another blown double-digit fourth-quarter lead contributed mightily to the Niners' second division loss already this season. Doesn't sound much like your Niners having 2 division losses already this early.
I'm extremely concerned. I am. I'm concerned. I haven't liked the way Purdy has looked, and I saw shades. I'm looking at Purdy when he's under pressure, and I'm seeing shades of when he was in the NFC Championship against the Eagles. And it's funny comparing, and we understand Purdy is not at all Lamar Jackson, but seeing some of the things Lamar Jackson does, it's like you can see how far away he is athletically from that. Purdy and the Niners really have to, A, I believe, upgrade the line still, and B, Purdy has to be prepared to get out of those pockets when they collapse a lot sooner. He wants to stand in there, and take the hit and throw the ball, but he's so small that he's just getting beat up, and it's not really working too well for him. So I really, think he needs to be a little more mobile, and I hope that they got him on the move. And I hope CMC comes back soon, but that's a whole nother issue. All right, 4.8 favors the Niners, and who you got?
Well, I'm going to take the Niners to go up to Seattle and take them guys out. My team did it. I think your team will do it too. Hold on one second? Let me check something. I need to check something. I'm not even going to bring that up. So yeah, I'm going to go Niners on this one. So that'll be with the bias.
All right, going with the bias, going with the Niners. Next, and that's Thursday night, Benny. So we gotta get this all ready and put out for the people for Thursday night football.